morning and welcome to our yoga practice. Hope everyone is doing well today. Let's see, hope my mic is working too. Excellent. Well, we probably have 3 or 4 minutes before we get going, so a nice amount of time to roll out your mat and settle in. She might be just off screen, but Molly is joining us. So we're just getting settled in, rolling out our mat, grabbing anything that we may want to incorporate into our practice, a blocker, strap, a cute pup. Just use this time as you create your space to sit quietly, maybe start to center, or you could use it to invite in gentle movement, kind of growing that awareness of the body. We still probably have 3 minutes or so before we get going, so a nice amount of time. I'm going to see if she'll share the mat with me this week. So we're just coming onto the mat, getting ourselves set up, and settling in. We are going to begin in child's pose today if you wanted to head that way and start settling in. Still probably another minute or so, maybe 2. I don't know how fast I set my watch. We're getting closer to time, so any last little things you need to gather, to set nearby, you could have within arm's reach if you wanted to incorporate anything into your practice. Now's the time to finalize that as you start to settle in. We're going to head toward that child's pose. So that could be toes together, toes near one another, knees near one another, or you could take the knees wide to create some extra space to melt into. Get yourself comfy and then gently lower down. Start to lower the belly. If the knees are near one another, maybe that belly rests on the thighs. If the knees are wide, it'll melt down between. Start to lower the head. If you have a block, you could set it here to rest the head on. You could reach the arms overhead, starting to stretch the shoulders and side body. Make a little pillow with the fists or the palms. So there's a wide variety of options here for you to explore and find the shape that feels best for your body this morning. Once you're there, settle in. See if you can relax the shoulders. Let the hips settle a little closer to the heels. Maybe soften the gaze or even close the eyes as you take a minute to come onto the mat. To be aware of the foundation beneath you, the air around you. Maybe you notice little sounds. Be present. Invite yourself to be in the moment. And as you become more aware of the present, kind of check in with the self. Scan the body. See how you're feeling. No judgment, just awareness. If you find any surface level tension that you can release, go ahead and soften there. And we'll deepen the breath. The belly is pressing on the thighs. You may not be able to breathe as deeply as you usually do, and that's all right. Notice the different experience. Nice, steady breath, even inhale and exhale. We'll keep this steady breath as we move through the practice. And as we prepare to start, if you'd like to set an intention, I welcome you to do so. Just something positive that's speaking to you today. Be a nice touchstone as we move through the practice, something for the mind to come back to focus on when it starts to wander, and then something you can take with you from the mat out into the world. Maybe that's developing more patience, more curiosity, more gratitude, whatever is speaking to you. If the head is resting, we'll gently lift it up. If you have a block, go ahead and move it out to the side. We'll go ahead and reach the arms overhead, palms on the mat. Maybe you tent the fingers. Feel that nice stretch down through side body. Heels stay lowered, or hips stay lowered near the heels. Then on an exhale, walk the hands over to the right, creating a nice stretch through the left side body. Let the torso rest. Feel the breath in the ribs. And then we'll walk the hands back through center. Exhale to the opposite side, settling in. Soften the shoulders. Scan from hip to fingertip. We'll walk the hands back to center. Inhale up to tabletop. We're going to set shoulders over wrist, hips over knees as best we can. Spread the fingers wide. Give yourself a solid base. The tops of the feet are down in the mat. We begin with a long spine. The gaze is down. Notice if you're collapsing into the shoulders. If you are, gently draw the heart up. And then on an inhale, lower the belly and lift the gaze, beginning our cat-cow. Exhale as you round, arch the back. Inhale, lower, open the heart. Exhale, round, press the earth away. And just continue these cat-cows at your own breath pace for a few rounds. Connecting movement and breath. You can hold wherever you need, and just as you restart, start on that breath. Aware of how the spine is feeling. We'll take one more full round before we meet back at our neutral spine. Nice neutral. Draw the navel up toward the spine. Strong core as we step the right toes back. Press through the heel. Little stretch for the calf. And then kind of release that as you fly the right foot. Keep the core engaged. Back body is strong. Right leg, we're pressing through the heel. And if you'd like to challenge your balance, we'll draw the left hand up. Maybe that bicep goes near the ears. The fingers reach forward. Exhale as you release. Return hand and knee to the mat. We'll step the left toes back. The ball of the foot is in the mat as we press through the heel. A little stretch for the leg. Back to our neutral as we fly the left foot, trying to keep the hips square to the mat as best we can. Core is strong. That right arm draws up, again, optional. Try not to collapse into the shoulder. That supporting arm is strong. Long line through the body. Exhale as we release. We'll keep the knees kind of where they are. We'll start to walk the hands forward and then gently just lower the body down. We're coming to the belly. We'll set the hands under the shoulders, chin into the mat, tops of the feet are down. The feet are about hip width distance, maybe even a little wider. We'll invite in a little back work as we inhale up, chin and collarbone, a nice baby cobra. Imagining a long spine. Not putting too much weight into our hands here. We'll release as we exhale down. Take a breath. Inhale up, baby cobra. Really use your back muscles here. Keep the feet connected to the mat. Maybe you can drum out the fingers a little bit. And release. Take a breath. We'll put a little weight into our hands as we inhale up, chin, collarbone, and maybe a rib or two. Deepening the stretch through the front midline. The gaze is forward. Spine is long. Exhale as you release. We'll take a breath. Inhale up. That same mid-lift. Find a little ease through the lower body. Create a little space between the shoulders and the ears. And release. Nice work. We'll take the arms down alongside body, palms into the mat, pinkies touching thighs. As we create a base with the chin, the palms, the hips, and inhale up the right toes. Your lift may be an inch, it may be a foot, it may be higher. Just find where you're at today. Feeling strong through that flying leg. On an exhale, we lower it down. When right toes touch, we inhale up the left. Each side a little different. Feel your strength, your solid foundation. With control, we'll lower the left toes down. Left toes touch, we inhale up the right. Exhale down the right toes. Inhale up the left. Exhale down the left toes. We'll let both feet rest. As we bring the hands back up, we'll set hands kind of under shoulders. They could be out a little bit. Because on our inhale, as we lift, we'll set the elbows under the shoulders, forearms parallel to one another, our Sphinx pose. The palms are in the mat. Press into the elbows as you help lift. We'll bend the right knee and then glance over the right shoulder so you can see that foot. So the thigh is touching the ground. The shin is up. Well, 90 degrees there at the knee. And we lower it down. Return the gaze to center. We'll bend that left knee. Take the gaze over the left shoulder. Lower the left. Return the gaze to center. Press into the palms. Elbows go wide. We lower down. Favorite cheek to the mat. And then swap sides. Opposite cheek goes down. We'll bring chin to center as hands come under shoulders. We'll press back hips to heels. Child's pose, whichever variation serves you. A nice little counter posture to that back work we just did. Hips settling toward the heels. We'll leave the arms stretched overhead. Creating space through the sides. A little activation through the shoulders. And on an inhale, we rise back up to tabletop. Shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. Our nice starting place. We'll step the right toes back. Lift that leg. Core is strong. Scoop the belly as you bring that knee forward and plant the right foot somewhere near the front of the mat, a low lunge. So we want our stance to be wide enough that this knee is over the ankle or a little bit behind it as we sit the hips low. Hands can stay on the mat. If you have blocks nearby, you could use those to help lift up a little bit. Awareness to the front of that left hip, that connection into the left leg. And we'll deepen the stretch as we bring the right hand inside the right foot and heel toe that foot over to the edge of the mat. We'll plant it at a 45. My heel is on the mat, my toes are off. Your legs are longer, the whole foot may end up off. It may end up on if they're shorter, or if the hips are just feeling it today. Find your spot. Our lizard lunge. If your hips are feeling really open today, you could lower down here a little bit. Mine do not allow that, so I will stay lifted as we take 2 breaths here. If you've lowered down, go ahead and lift up. And we'll heel toe the right foot back to its starting place. Shift the hips as you rotate on the heel of the right foot, coming to a hamstring stretch. Just sit the hips back as far as your body wants, being mindful how the back of the right leg is feeling. That leg does not have to be straight. You could keep a little micro bend in it. We'll rotate back, planting the right foot down, and then with control, swing it around and return to your tabletop, our nice neutral starting point. Take a breath. Step the left toes back. Lift the left leg. Scoop the belly as you bring the foot forward, trying not to scrape it. And we come to low lunge on the opposite side. So the feet are on skis. We have a solid base. Double check that bone stack for the knee and the ankle. Long spine as you sit into the hips. Big stretch through this right side. Use your exhale to dive a little deeper. Invite in a little more space. Release a little more tension. To simply find some ease. We'll bring the left hand inside the left foot as we heel toe it over. Set it at that 45. Keep the hips sitting low as you find your variation of lizard lunge. Again, you can lower the torso here. 2 breaths. We'll heel toe that foot back to its starting place. And then shift the hips back as you rotate on the left heel to find that hamstring stretch on the opposite side. As in all of our shapes, one side might be different than the other. Listen to your body. Move with a little mindfulness. You invite in the stretch, but if at any point you feel something pinpointed, like a targeted pain, gently back out. We don't want to do any harm. We want to be able to do yoga again, maybe tomorrow, maybe later today, maybe next week. We'll rotate that foot back down and then gently swing it around as we come to our tabletop. We'll take the hands forward, about a handprint each. Spread the fingers wide. Start to grip the mat. Set the arms, feeling strong as you curl the toes. And then when you're ready, gently lift the knees as you shift the hips up and back, coming into your down dog, our nice upside down V shape. Trying to find a flat back as best you can. It's our first time in down dog today, so you can invite in a little movement and explore the shape, shifting the hips or pedaling the feet. And then settle in, feeling strong through your base. We'll start to walk the hands toward the feet and find ourselves in forward fold. Let the upper body hang. Maybe shake the head a little yes and no to loosen the neck. Ease through the shoulders. We'll engage the core as we inhale up to half lift. That 7 shape. The gaze is at the mat, long spine. Hands to shins or thighs or airplane. Exhale as we release. We'll take a big inhale to draw us up. Scoop the air around you. You reach tall. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Nice work. We're going to do a little balance today. We're going to do our awkward series. It's that 3-part toe stand. So we begin with the feet about hip width distance apart, and a good double check is 2 fists between the feet, roughly the hips. Feeling nice and stable as we draw energy up, long spine. We'll draw the arms up. Palms are down at the mat. Arms are straight in front of us. And then we'll just sit the hips back. Find that chair. Draw the tailbone long. Focus forward. There's more weight in the heels here. Press into the heels as we rise up. We'll leave the arms where they are as we come onto the balls of our feet, lifting the heels. Keep that focus forward. Find a non-moving focal point. We'll keep the heels high as we sit the hips back, finding that bar stool. Long spine. Notice if you start to lean forward a lot. I want to try and keep the spine upright and long, using all those supporting muscles to hold us here. Keep the heels high as we rise up, and then exhale everything down. Nice. That's the first 2 parts. We'll head to the third, which is that toe stand. Turn the toes in toward one another a little bit. They may touch, they may not. We'll set the arms back, our nice counterpoint. And then we gently lower down. The legs will come together. Use that strength, pressing them together, and just slide down the wall behind you. So we're not going forward or backward. We're just sliding down. If at any point the hips, knees, ankles say no, you can stop there. And the lower you go, the heels will lift up. And eventually, maybe you come to that toe stand. Maybe you're somewhere in the path down. Find what works for you today as you focus forward, feeling strong and supported, knowing that you can tap a heel down anytime you need. You can come in and out of the shape. A nice challenge for our balance with both feet on the ground. And wherever you're at, especially if the heels are lifted, we'll keep the heels lifted and start to rise up and release. Great work. You can shake out the feet, give them a wiggle, a little spin of the ankles as we come back to the mat. Finding Tadasana, our strong mountain pose. Head over heart. We'll inhale the arms up. Exhale as we forward fold. Inhale to half lift. Exhale, release. We'll walk the hands out as we come to high plank. Making any little adjustments we need to. You can lower to the knees here if you like. We'll keep the elbows tight to the body as we lower down. Coming to the belly, uncurl the toes. Inhale up to your cobra. Exhale as you release, curl the toes. Shift the hips up and back. Down dog. Working around mine. From here, we'll lift the heels, little wave through the body. As we come to that high plank, we'll set the left knee down as we shift the hips, trying to stack one on top of the other. Lift the right arm up. A supported side plank. Right foot can stay connected to the mat. If you're feeling like you want to challenge your balance, you could lift that right foot. One more breath here. We'll rotate back to center. Step the left toes back, high plank. Right knee comes down. We shift the hips, Right arm supports us now as the left arm draws up. Finding that nice supported center space. Maybe you lift the left toes, press out through that heel. Totally optional. Foot can stay connected to the mat. You can tap the toes down. We'll take one breath here. Rotate back to center. Step the right toes back. Take one breath. Lower the knees. Uncurl the toes. Settle hips to heels as we settle back into child's pose. Coming to round out our practice where we began. Maybe find a little softness in the shoulders by bending the elbows. You create that nice pillow for the head again if you like. Gently let the breath return to its natural rhythm. Tap back into that intention that you set. We'll take a few rounds of breath in quiet. A chance to sit with the self. The practice being present. I'll join in with you now. And continue to sit in quiet for a few moments if you like, but if you're rounding out practice with me, go ahead and lift up. You can stay kneeling or you could rotate into a comfortable seated posture. As we close out today, sealing our hands together to seal in our practice, I encourage you to take kind thoughts, kind words, and kind intentions with you from now until we meet again. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the practice and have a wonderful week ahead. I look forward to seeing you back on the mat next Tuesday morning. Bye, everyone.